What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And to this video, I'm back today with another top 10. And for this top 10, I'll be ranking my top 10 favorite lightsaber duels of all time. These duels will consist of, they will come from the TV shows and they'll also come from the movies as well. So let's just right into it. Now coming in at number 10, I have Yoda versus Palpatine from the Clone Wars. Now this duel was in season 6, episode 13 of the Clone Wars, Sacrifice. Now the reason that this duel is on number 10 on the list is because this duel is actually like a Force vision from Palpatine and Dooku, so it didn't actually happen. But even though it was a fake fight, it was still really cool to see Yoda and Sidious fight before Revenge of the Sith. And ultimately, it showed Yoda's temptation to resist. It showed Yoda was able to resist the dark side ultimately and save Anakin and sacrifice himself at the end. So that comes in number 10. At number 9, I have Obi-Wan versus Maul from Star Wars Rebels. Now this is without doubt the shortest lightsaber fight and the most controversial lightsaber fight. Now, people don't like this fight because it was way too quick and it wasn't like all flashy and stuff that people wanted. So that's why people is still controversial amongst fans. However, I've come to really like it over the past few years since Twin Suns aired. Mainly because this is not a fight that is, about all the techniques and lightsaber moves. It was pretty much a pure psychological fight. It was about like who was more skilled and had more patience. Because the lead up before the actual fight happened, that was really the fight. It was truly psychological, and you just see like Maul and Obi-Wan stare each other down in their lightsaber poses. Like I said, it's just purely psychological, and I've come to respect the fight over the years. So that comes in number 9. At number 8, I have Yoda versus Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith. Now the reason that I put this one above the Clone Wars fight is because not only did this fight actually happen, but this fight was also the reason why Yoda went into exile on Dagobah, and it showed like the two most powerful Force users at the time going head to head. So that's why that comes in at number 8. At number 7, I have another Star Wars Rebels duel. This time it's Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Vader. People have been waiting for this fight for years. Ever since the Clone Wars movie came out in 2008, people have been wanting to see what would happen if Ahsoka and Darth Vader fought. And in 2015, when Twilight of the Apprentice aired for the season 2 finale of Rebels, this fight did not disappoint. Because it was a good lightsaber duel, but the icing on the cake was after Ahsoka sliced part of Darth Vader's mask off. Like you could hear both James Earl Jones and Matt Lanner's voices combined, which was honestly a really cool sound effect. So that after Ahsoka sliced off Darth Vader's helmet, that was really what made the fight for me. So number 6, I have Darth Maul and Savage Opress versus Darth Sidious. Now before the Siege of Mandalore happened, I would say this is the best lightsaber duel in all of the Clone Wars. Because not only I honestly would have never expected to see Darth Maul and Sidious fight like in all of Star Wars. But this fight was honestly incredible, and this fight did not disappoint because it showed Sidious in his true prime. Like it's not like he would have sent Dooku or Grievous to take care of him. Like it shows like when he wants to take care of something, he can take care of it, and he can take care of it very well. And ultimately, he killed Savage Opress, and then Maul just went insane after that, and then he pretty much took Maul with ease after that. The best part about Sidious in this fight is that he was barely trying. He was just toying with them, and that's what I really appreciate about this fight. Now coming in at number 5, I have Luke versus Vader from The Empire Strikes Back. What more do I need to say about this fight? Obviously, this is where the iconic I am your father comes in. So Luke versus Vader from The Empire Strikes Back. Everyone knows it. Such an iconic fight. I don't really need to say anything much about it. So that comes in at number 5. At number 4, I have Maul versus Ahsoka from The Siege of Mandalore in Clone Wars Season 7. Now, when I first saw this fight for the first time, when I first saw the episode, I thought it was okay. But when I saw the episode more and then I saw the fight over and over again, the more I've come to respect it. And that was because Ray Park himself actually came in for motion capture and did motion capture for Darth Maul. And the stunt woman who did the Armor Girl stunts in The Mandalorian, she was the one who did the motion capture for Ahsoka. So this fight is the first and only motion capture fight to ever be done in the Clone Wars. And it really didn't disappoint at all. It was so fluent, it was well choreographed, and I really have a lot of respect for it. So that comes in number 4. At number 3, I have Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul from The Phantom Menace. What do I not need to say much about this fight? So normally, I would have actually put this fight a little lower on the list. But after I saw how the documentary series of how The Mandalorian was made and how Dave Filoni explained the significance of Duel of the Fates, I've come to have a lot more respect for this fight, and I've never really looked at it that way before. So for those of you who don't know, in the second episode of the documentary series, Dave Filoni explained why it's called Duel of the Fates. So he's explained that the fight is called Duel of the Fates because it's ultimately the fate of Anakin. So if Darth Maul didn't kill Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon would have trained Anakin, and he ultimately would have had the father figure that he needed. But since Darth Maul did kill Qui-Gon, Anakin never had that father figure, and Obi-Wan was more of a brother to him, and he ultimately didn't want to train Anakin at first because, I mean, he didn't really trust him because he knew something, he just thought he was another useless life form, as Dave Filoni put it. And he was ultimately just doing Qui-Gon a favor when he died. So, like I said, after Dave Filoni explained the significance of the fight, that's why it's at number 3 and not a little lower. Now, coming in at number 2, I have Luke versus Vader from Return of the Jedi. Now, out of all the fights in the original trilogy, this is, without a doubt, my personal favorite and probably the most significant fight. Because it really did show, because Luke didn't want to kill Vader. He couldn't bring himself to kill his own father, which I really appreciated. And even when Luke wanted to kill him, he didn't. Because he just cut off his arm, and then he realized if he continued to strike at him, he would become what he didn't want to become. And ultimately, he was able to resist Palpatine, and he was ultimately able to bring Anakin back to the light and bring balance to the Force, temporarily speaking. So before I get to my number 1, I want to go over a couple honorable mentions first. So my first honorable mention is Darth Maul versus Pre Vizsla from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Now, this is also one of the few fights in all of Star Wars where it wasn't two Force users against each other. It was one Force user versus a Mandalorian. So that was really, really interesting to see. Pre Vizsla basically just used all of his gadgets he had, and Darth Maul just used his lightsaber. He didn't use the Force or anything. And this is also probably, and even when Darth Maul defeated Pre Vizsla probably had one of the most brutal deaths in all of Star Wars, because he basically just got decapitated by Darth Maul, but using his own weapon against him. So that's why it's my first honorable mention. My second honorable mention is Obi-Wan versus General Grievous from Revenge of the Sith. Now, I mean, this fight, obviously, in terms of emotion, had no emotional weight to it. But obviously, like I said, I'm a big fan of Grievous and Obi-Wan, and it was still fun to see, a four-armed cyborg versus a Jedi. So because that was something we've never seen before. So now my last honorable mention is Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader from New Hope. First lightsaber fight ever. So in terms of that, it has a lot of significance. However, the reason it's an honorable mention and not on the top 10 is that I saw the Star Wars movies in order. So I saw a certain fight before a New Hope fight. So after that, I just didn't think it held up, honestly. And like I said, even though it's a significant fight in terms of being the first one ever made, the fight itself doesn't actually hold up to this day. So that's why it's an honorable mention. So now coming in at number 1, as the best Star Wars fight in all of Star Wars, I think you all saw this coming, but it's Anakin versus Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith. Where do I even begin? I mean, this was the fight that we've all been waiting for ever since the original trilogy happened. We want to see how Anakin ultimately got into the suit of Darth Vader. We want to see Master and Apprentice against each other. And the score and the fight itself did not disappoint. While in terms of the dialogue setup could have been a little better, the fight and the score itself completely made up for it. So that's why I've always decided that Anakin versus Obi-Wan is the best lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please click the thumbs up button below. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.